ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about the
don't lie about me.
survivors, and let's bring them up here into the room. These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to
Is the
invite all
answer yes or
investigative
no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any
What
people
is
on
the
your
an-
side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the
Mr.
stats.
Patel,
And you talk
Mr.
about
Chairman,
cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you
this
talk
is
about
my time,
cover-ups.
and I will take
Why
as much
is you-
time.
It's now clear that the Democrats are out of control. Today's hearing was not just a routine congressional session. It was a window into the collapse of political theater when confronted with real accountability. The Democrats came in prepared with talking points, sound bites, and a single goal: paint Kash Patel as a cover-up artist and, by extension, implicate President Trump in an alleged scandal. They read tweets, they quoted interviews, they tried to manufacture a narrative. But here's the truth: nothing they did could shake Kash Patel's focus or integrity. Let's break down what actually happened. Kash Patel took office at the FBI facing a mountain of unresolved cases inherited from the Obama and Biden Justice Departments. Among those were files related to Jeffrey Epstein. These files were not new. They had been investigated, ignored, and in some cases covered up by previous administrations. Yet suddenly, when Kash's name entered the room, the narrative shifted as if the past decade had never existed. This is political projection at its finest. He didn't start any cover-up. He didn't ignore victims. He stepped into an inherited system and committed to transparency in a way no previous FBI director had. Throughout the hearing, Democrats repeatedly tried to corner him. They asked whether victims were credible, whether he spoke to the president, whether he had decided to suppress evidence. Every question carried insinuation. But Kash answered calmly, factually, and consistently. He emphasized that the evidence he had matched what had been reviewed under previous administrations, that he had repeatedly asked the public to come forward with information, and that he had taken active steps to ensure no stone was left unturned. That is leadership under pressure. That is integrity. Consider the broader picture. Democrats claimed to champion the survivors of Epstein's horrific crimes. Yet the very administrations they supported failed to meet with these women, to follow up on credible evidence, or to take decisive action. Kash Patel, on the other hand, invited new evidence, encouraged witnesses to come forward, and ensured the FBI pursued all credible leads. His commitment to victims was real, operational, and proactive, not a media performance designed to score points. Watching the hearing unfold, you also saw a human side to Kash Patel. When interrupted, shouted over, or challenged aggressively, he didn't resort to anger. He didn't play political games. He explained his reasoning, provided context, and kept the focus on facts, victims, and transparency. It's a reminder that leadership isn't about dominating the room, it's about standing firm for what is right, even when everyone else is trying to twist the story for political gain. For Republicans, this hearing should serve as both vindication and a call to action. Vindication because Kash Patel exemplifies principled leadership under attack. He didn't cave to the smear campaign, he didn't bow to pressure, and he didn't allow partisan theatrics to distract from the core mission, protecting the American people and pursuing justice. It is a rare and important example of integrity in a political landscape dominated by spectacle. And for all Americans, there is a lesson here about accountability. True oversight is not about crafting a viral soundbite. It is about asking questions, examining evidence, and following the facts wherever they lead, even if that makes powerful people uncomfortable. Kash Patel showed that this is possible in today's politicized environment. He reminded the nation that real change requires courage, persistence, and the willingness to confront inconvenient truths. If you want an FBI led by someone who refuses to play political games, who prioritizes victims over headlines, and who stands for transparency even when the room is filled with partisan pressure, then Kash Patel is the leader we should recognize. Share this video, spread the truth about what happened, and make sure people understand the full context. Because while the media may focus on theatrics, the real story is about integrity, evidence, and justice.
Questions recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February of 2025, you tweeted, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. In June, you told Joe Rogan, quote, we've reviewed all the information, we're gonna give you every single thing we have and can. But then suddenly in July, everything changed. You and Attorney General Pam Bondi released one video and said that there was nothing more to see. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up. So you are under oath, Mr. Patel. You just testified to Mr. Swalwell that you did not speak to the president about the Epstein files. To your knowledge, did Attorney General Pam Bondi speak to the president about what was in the Epstein files?
I can't speak for Attorney General Pam Bondi.
So to your knowledge, you don't have any information. The question was, do you have any knowledge? Do you have any knowledge?
I can't speak.
You are refusing to answer the question, so let me tell you that the Wall Street Journal reported that in May, Bondi told Trump that he was in the Epstein files, and at the same meeting said that the DOJ did not plan to release the files. Yesterday, you testified to Senator Kennedy that there was, quote, no credible information that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else, and that you have, quote, continuously and publicly asked the public to come forward with more information and we'll look into it. Today, in response to Mr. Massey's question, you appear to say that the survivors were not credible. These are survivors.
That's not at all what I said.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about
then
the
don't lie about
survivors,
me.
and let's bring them up here into the room. These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to
Is
invite
the
all
answer yes or
investigative
no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any
What
people
is
on
the
your
an-
side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the
Mr.
stats.
Patel,
And you talk
Mr.
about
Chairman,
cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you
this
talk
is
about
my time,
cover-ups.
and I will take as much time as I
Where were
want.
you during the
Instruct
Obama
the
and Biden
witness, Mr.
administrations
Chairman.
when these so-called
Instruct the
cover-ups were
witness.
going on?
Mr.
Why didn't
Chairman.
anyone in those administrations talk to any of these
Mr.
purported
Chairman.
witnesses?
Let's
I
get
have
some regular order, Mr.
every
Chairman.
single person to provide credible information.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Washington.
And I'm
but
gonna
when you-
take
when
another
you
couple
accuse
of
the
minutes.
witness of something, he's allowed to respond. That's how it works. You say
Listen, he
something,
didn't
you say
even,
something,
excuse
he's
me,
allowed
Mr.
to
Chairman,
respond.
you have
Point
always
of
been
order.
fair, but this
And
is
I'm
not
being
fair.
fair, and you will get
No,
your-
this
you will
is
get your
my
time.
time, and he
We will give the
said
gentlelady
that the
a few
witnesses
additional
were not credible.
seconds of time.
I'm gonna get an additional minute of time because
No,
that's
you'll
how
get
much
what
time
you
he
won't get a
took.
minute. You'll get some seconds. What we think is under 5 minutes. You don't get to demand how
Mr.
much time you
Patel.
get. That's not how it works.
Mr. Patel, are the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein horrific trafficking ring, are they credible?
Any person with information about ongoing sexual trafficking.
I'm asking you if they're credible.
Ma'am, I'm
Are
commenting
they
on the
credible?
evidence we have.
But
And we have routinely asked for people to come forward with more evidence, and we will look at it. And the evidence that we have was the same evidence that the Biden and
Patel,
Obama Justice Departments
Mr.
had.
Patel,
And they
this is
determined,
new.
not me, they determined
Mr.
that
Chairman,
information was not credible.
Chairman, he's not letting me even ask my questions.
You
This is
ask the
ridiculous.
questions, he gives an answer. You may not like what he says,
No,
but that
I'm
doesn't mean you get to
he's
interrupt
not answering
him.
my question.
Mr. Chairman,
have
could we
an-
restore the gentlelady 45 seconds so she
We
can
will
complete
give her
her
additional
question?
30 seconds, which is what I said
I'm
earlier.
going to keep taking my time because
you'll take
here's
the
the
time
thing.
that you get. You get
are
30
not
seconds.
answering the question. The question is,
I have. You just don't like the
these
answer.
are these women credible? It's a yes or no answer.
I have answered the question.
Well,
and I
what is
keep
the
telling
answer?
you, I'm the only FBI director that has welcomed new information in this
Okay.
case. This
You're not-
administration is the only one that has welcomed any new information in this
Is there
case.
a yes or no to whether
Present
the
new credible
victims are
information.
credible?
Present new
Are
information.
the victims credible
The victims-
or not?
I'll tell you what happened in the last Trump
Are they
administration.
credible or not? You can't even
Victims
say.
credibly came forward, and you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictments of
President
Jeffrey
Trump
Epstein,
called
not
them a
Biden,
hoax.
not Obama,
President Trump
no one
called
else.
the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to ask
The
you
gentlelady's
if
time has
you
expired.
will
I gave her
meet-
the additional
if
45
you-
seconds she
if you
requested.
will
The
meet-
gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from
Mr.
New
Chairman,
Jersey is
I would like
recognized
to
for his
ask if
5
you would
minutes.
meet with the women who were sexually
time does not belong-
abused and raped and
time
groomed
does
at
not
the
belong
ages
to the
of
gentlelady from
14
Washington.
and
The time now
16
belongs-
years old. Are
the
you
time-
going to cover up?
No, I'm
Are
not
you
gonna-
going to
I'm
continue
gonna
to
recognize
cover
the
up
gentleman
for
from
the
New Jersey
rich
for
and
his 5 minutes.
powerful men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell
Or
too,
are
Mr.
you
Chairman,
going
but I don't want to
to
yell
allow
above
them
this.
to
The time belongs
testify?
to the gentleman from New Jersey. I
Are you
appreciate the
going to allow
gentlelady
them to
yielding
testify,
back.
Mr. Patel?
Go ahead,
Will
Mr.
you
D'Angelo.
allow them to testify to you, Mr. Patel?
Mr. Patel, thank you for being here. I know it's been an interesting and difficult 2 days. And I wasn't going to talk about the Epstein thing because there's a lot of other issues that affect the FBI, but I have to say a few words. I've sat